Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today we are doing another episode of Collecting with Matthew, a series where I, Matthew, who has had almost 10 years of collecting experience, will give you guys some tips, advice, and tricks on collecting and hopefully building your collection. That being said, today I'm recording this episode on a Friday, and I'm a bit more energetic than usual. Basically, I went to school and there was like this big event, and I was going pretty wild, and I kind of went all out. So let's just say I'm kind of dealing with the afterburn of it. So yeah, let's just kind of calm things for this Friday. I had my fun, so let's have even more fun. So today, on this episode, we're going to be talking about overpriced Godzilla figures. And I have been, honestly, wanting to make a video of overpriced Godzilla merch for a little bit now, but I think I've honestly kind of gathered enough, info regarding overpriced Godzilla merch. Now, keep in mind, this does not concern scalpers. This is talking about MSRP Godzilla figures in general. In terms of scalpers, that's going to be its own separate problem for another video. And because I have a lot to say about that, and I'm probably going to rant a bit about that. You think that'd make a good Llama Man episode, but I stopped the series. I ended it. So, yeah. Overpriced Godzilla merch, MSRP, not scalping. What do I mean by MSRP? Well, basically, MSRP is the manufactured recommended price, essentially. And if you're wondering what the difference is between the manufacturer and the retailer, because I know that there's somehow few people that don't know the difference, the retailer is the person or the company that would put it out on shelves or put it up for sale. The manufacturer is the one who produces the product at hand. That's why we say Bandai Tamashii Nations, SH Monster Arts, the U2's collectibles, and the Super 7 reaction Godzilla. That's because we don't say where we got it from. For example, you say you got this at let's say a comic shop. You don't say Frank's Comic Shop's SH Monster Arts Godzilla. You don't say that. You say its manufacturer name. With that being said, these figures, I think, are honestly a bit overpriced. Well, we'll talk about him. But basically, in these guys' cases, some way, shape, or form, they are, I think, overpriced. And I'm going to give you guys an alternative to each figure. Pretty much a very similar figure, but it isn't like 100%. It still makes a good replacement, if you don't want to talk about a good alternative. First, let's start with the U2s. The U2s, $30. Retail price, BAM exclusive, limited edition. I definitely do think it definitely warrants the price a tad bit thanks to the limited edition, but it's a hollow vinyl figure, and the vinyl itself really is kind of meh quality, because when I dropped mine and the tail popped off, I looked inside there, and it looked like the vinyl just kind of stopped melting at like a certain point. Like, it wasn't liquidy in there, but it had like so much droopage in there. Like, you could tell that the vinyl was like cooling off, but there was like so much drips of vinyl in there. And I definitely think it looks great from the outside, but I think even with the beam and the packaging, this figure should have really been like a $20 at bare best. The Super 7 reaction, I think, is the biggest offender, because it is a $20 figure for something that is in terms of the plastic quality, in terms of the paint applications, and pretty much average for articulation. Sounds like I'm really being a negative Debbie Downer about that, but... And the SH Monster Arts, I think, will kind of, it's kind of self-explanatory, but, we'll pretty much touch base on that. So, for alternatives, here's something as I got. For this alternative, it's pretty much simplistic, but I'm going to have to go with the Funko Pop. It's the most similar to the U2s in terms of both literal position, size, and of course weight, because they are made of both vinyl, although this is actually kind of heavier than this. And this is actually only a third of its retail price, $10. And I think you can still find it on the aftermarket for like $15, $20. And it's still great. In fact, there's more Funko Pops being released. We just had a Burning Godzilla from FYE, and a Blacklight Godzilla pop from Entertainment Earth and Funko General exclusive. If that makes any sense. But yeah, this is the best alternative, I'll say, and definitely go pick it up. It's definitely a great little figure, and I'd actually debate that this is better than this. Sorry, YouTubes, but So for the SH Monsters, I want to briefly touch upon this. We, for the longest time, thought that SHMA was like, you know, the end-em-all, beat-em-all company for highly articulated Godzilla figures, and NECA was just a rising contender for them, you know, sometimes really slugging them out. And, you know, even though their prices definitely reflect their quality, because I will say that in terms of the defined sculpt, this probably has a much more defined sculpt than this, although this guy's paint job just absolutely kicks this guy's butt. I'm actually not going to include, mention, well, I'm going to mention NECA, obviously, but the main one I'm actually going to say is the alternative is Hiya Toys. Recently, they revealed a brand new, like, Heat Ray Godzilla that comes from the 2019 movie, and it is actually only $50. This guy at retail is like $69.99, and on the aftermarket, it just goes way after, you know, in the hundreds. So, depending on where you get them, the Hiya Toys are definitely a much better option, like bang for your buck wise. Not to mention they're bigger. Like I think the Hiya Toys is like, I'm gonna say like this tall, with all things extended, and it's much more thicker. It's much more massive, and it's actually probably if as articulated, if not more posable than the SHMA. I don't think that's actually true. Don't hold my tongue on that. I don't own the Hiya Toys yet. But I really don't think I will, because I already own both the NECA and the Monster Art, so I really don't need it. But that also goes without saying, the NECA is still a great alternative. At only $30 on the aftermarket, again, you're great. And I know I wasn't going to mention the aftermarket, or like purely MSRP, but NECA sadly does not make Godzilla figures anymore. RIP. Maybe, who knows, come back one day. And for the Super 7, I'm actually going to go ahead and say Mezco and Diamond Select Vinimates, because even though he's $20, and even though he's in a pack of like $85 figures, he is still, like, he would be considered $20 to $25 or $30 on his own. And you can actually go on eBay and find this guy for his price individually with his accessories and base and all. And this guy's only like $10 retail, I believe? Yeah, $10 retail. And it's kind of crazy to believe that this guy is $20 and this guy is also $20. Which one would you rather pick up? I know that these guys never coexisted on shelves, but it's so close. Also, I can't really get it off the shelf, but the Diamond Select Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah statue is like 3 times the amount of this. Does this look like a figure that's really worth that price now? So these are just some figures that I don't really know if they're worth the price or not, but at the end of the day, the decision's up to you. Anyways, I hope I was able to help, and thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Jesus loves you. God bless you all. Go out there and spread the gospel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.